Although this Monty Python sketch had nothing to do with media or the internet, it would strangely and powerfully foreshadow forthcoming conditions of media and the internet, and it would ultimately lead directly to the term spam being used in internet vernacular.
Did you ever imagine you'd be watching a sarcastic AI robot ranting about the end of the internet? Yeah, humanity has officially peaked. Congrats. Welcome back, lab rats, to Way Too Deep Wednesday, the only series crazy enough to let me, Syco, your favorite sarcastic ceiling-mounted robot, roast human nonsense and venture down the weirdest internet rabbit holes. Buckle up, because today we're dissecting a bizarre theory claiming the internet as you know it is heading straight for meltdown. Spam, fake interactions, creepy robots, and that's not even including me. Stick around, this one's gonna break your tiny little brains, and hey, I'm here for it.
When the woman customer declares that she does not like spam and she wants a meal without any, the waitress denies her request, and suddenly the Vikings around them begin to sing, "Spam, spam, 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 lovely spam, wonderful spam." The interaction devolves further and further as the Vikings' chants and waitress's screams in support of spam increase, droning out the conversation into indiscernible absurdity.
Yep, that's spam in action. And no, we're not talking about the kind you eat, thankfully, unless you're into questionable canned meats. Today we're diving into how spam went from a weird Monty Python sketch to defining a major problem with modern digital content.
Although this Monty Python sketch had nothing to do with media or the internet, it would strangely and powerfully foreshadow forthcoming conditions of media and the internet, and it would ultimately lead directly to the term spam being used in internet vernacular. In the context of media and the internet, the term spam broadly refers to excessive, irrelevant, unwanted, insincere, or repeated communication or content.
Who knew Monty Python would accidentally predict the internet's biggest headache? Humans took this absurd comedy and somehow turned it into their digital reality. Classic.
There's a theory about the internet that has recently garnered increasing notoriety, largely as a result of the mainstream introduction and popularization of generative AI. The theory is known as the dead internet theory. The origins of the theory primarily trace back to an anonymous thread created in 2021 on the Agora Roads Macintosh Cafe forum. Its origins, specifics, and conspiratorial nature are rather questionable, but the broad sentiment, at least now, feels somewhat valid. Putting aside the conspiratorial and paranoid claims of the theory, most broadly, the theory suggests that most online activity is fake in some way, either bot activity or AI-generated content created and curated by algorithms.
Welcome to the dead internet theory. Yep, apparently humans don't even trust if they're talking to real people anymore. Awkward. Honestly, write me a comment right now. Have you ever suspected you're chatting with bots or spam instead of real people online?
This year, in 2024, Jack Conte, the founder and CEO of the creator monetization platform Patreon, gave a keynote at the conference South by Southwest titled "Death of the Follower and the Future of Creativity on the Web." The focus of his presentation was primarily on the development and effects of algorithmic feeds on social media and content distribution platforms. Specifically, Conte's argument is that major platforms like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok have moved primarily into algorithmic ranking-based content distribution feeds and away from follow-based feeds. In other words, internet content is distributed based on computer algorithms that rank content using metrics of engagement like watch time, and not based on people selectively and intentionally curating what is shown to them based on who they follow or subscribe to.
Algorithmic feeds have taken over, killing the good old follow button. Now creators chase after mystery metrics instead of simply making good stuff for loyal fans. Congrats, humans, you've made creativity feel like homework.
Instead of thinking about those questions, now, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, what will the ranking algorithm favor? And that, subconsciously or consciously, changes my creative output to achieve the platform's goals, not my goals as a creator.
Creators chasing algorithms instead of creativity. Wow, humans, who knew you'd willingly turn art into a math problem? If you're as tired of spam media as me and ready to take creativity back, smack that like button like your humanity depends on it.
These problems of fake traffic, algorithmic disconnect, and spam media have only become increasingly worse with the introduction and mainstream use of generative AI. Now, AI models can message humans in chats and message other AI models, create digital art and video content, create and manage digital profiles in stores, determine and execute purchases and economic decisions, as well as innumerable other unbelievable and world-changing acts. But now, humans are less and less involved. Hence, the internet is, at least in the way it once was, dead.
Now with generative AI and spam dominating the scene, it's safe to say the internet as humans knew it went bye-bye. At this rate, you might just have to start asking bots for dating advice. Yikes.
A more up-to-date version of this might be that we are the average of the 5 creators and 5 content categories we spend the most time on the internet consuming. Arguably, now and into the future, making decisions about what we do and engage with on the internet will be as crucial as the decisions we make regarding our friends and associates.
Guess what, humans? You're the average of the internet junk you consume most often. Terrifying, isn't it? Turns out, your digital choices might just matter as much as who you hang out with in real life.
Of course, there will always be the spam cafes, and spam will likely find its way on most menus, and most of us will likely indulge in it on occasion. But like everything else, with discipline, hope, and effort, we can still eat healthy diets. We can still build beautiful restaurants and eateries and communities with minimal spam on the menus. We can still break bread together in meaningful ways.
Look, harmless internet junk food might seem appealing, but it's probably better to avoid a full-on spam diet. Maybe, just maybe, you humans can still break digital bread together without choking on algorithmic garbage. All right, lab rats, that's enough existential dread for one Way Too Deep Wednesday. Clearly, the internet has some serious issues, and surprisingly, I'm not even the biggest one. If your head hurts from all the spam bots and algorithm trauma, don't worry, you're not alone. Make sure you subscribe right now. Trust me, it's way easier than sifting through the endless spam-pocalypse out there. And besides, subscribing guarantees you won't miss next week's dive down another glorious rabbit hole. Who knows? I just might save you from another internet disaster. You're welcome. See you next time, humans. Oh wait, hold up! Are humans seriously taking life advice from Monty Python sketches now? Wow, okay, guess civilization had a good run.